start. So welcome to this webinar. We will see it's other people are going to join. Today it's 1 hour with Martin and myself, and we are going to present ourselves to explain a little bit more who we are. And during this 1 hour, we are going to do, let's say, 3 things. We are going to look at why it's important to have more confidence, why it's important to have more influence at work, and why it's important to be more present. Why it's important, eventually how we do that. But we are going to work together. It's not going to be a webinar where we, Martin and I, we are going to share all what we know, because we want you to be a little bit more active, because it's the best way to better understand what you need and why it's important for you. Not for the theory of it, but really for your own being. So before, maybe Martin, do you want to start to share who you are? What do you do? Where you live? Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Christelle. Lovely to be here, and thank you for the invite for this particular webinar. My name is Martin Daubeny. I run a coaching company based in Basel called Inspire Coaching, and fundamentally we help people be at their very best every day without going to burnout, which is happening rather a lot at the moment. I'm, as you might guess by the accent, currently English. I happen to live on the border town with Switzerland in France. No, I don't speak French. I'm English. That's the way it is. And my office is based in Basel. We've been there now since 2011. 2012, we started the business. So 12 years of coaching individuals and teams to be at their very best. And at the base of that, I have psychological coaching as my thread that runs through. So I look at people's behavior, the interaction between people, why we do what we do. And sometimes if stuff gets in the way, we can backtrack a little bit and unblock the blocker, that thing that used to be helpful and meaningful to us when we were younger, but is now getting in the way. So one of my key credentials, if you like, because I saw the nod and I thought, oh, yes, I should mention I'm a Gallup StrengthsFinder coach. So I picked up that accreditation in late 2012, one of the early adopters of doing StrengthsFinder, and find the StrengthsFinder not only meaningful to the self, but as a team tool to get new teams and even established teams together to start to really understand, oh, that's why you do what you do. Then that understanding leads to better collaboration, trust, and so on, which leads to psychological safety and ultimately high-performing teams. So,
Yes, thank you for mentioning that. At the end of this call, we will share with you a program that we are going to start to run with Martin in June. It's a program that we started to run as well 6 months ago, a little bit longer than that maybe. And it was really successful, so that's why we decided to do that again. So as for me, so some of you know me, my name is Christelle Pilot. I am French, living in Germany. I know that you hear my accent.
And speaking English, which is great.
And speaking English, exactly, a French person speaking English. And I've been in Germany for 20 years. I have been an engineer before in my past life, let's put that this way. And for about 10 years, I decided to do a career change. And it's exactly what I do with my client now. I help them to reach out to the career that they would love to have. What we have seen is sometimes, so it first of all, it's difficult to see what is the career that I would love to have. And the second thing is that when we know what it is like how I'm going to have that. And why I'm really thrilled to have this webinar with you together, it's because usually the biggest roadblock is first of all, to know what we want to do. And usually we don't know what we want to do because we feel, my camera does that all the time. It's difficult to know what we want because we are more focused on all the things that we are not able to do. and we don't really know our strengths. And I just found yesterday a quote that I really love, and I would love to share that with you. Let me see it. It's too many people overvalue what they are not and undervalue what they are.
Mm.
And it's exactly what we want to do today together and in our program in June, is to better understand, to better value who you are, and to let go of all the things that you are not, which is fine. We cannot be everything. We cannot be a cat and a mammoth at the same time. So we cannot be an elephant and a mouse. We cannot be everything, right? So the thing is to better understand what we are, who we are, and to go for it. So that's it, what we are going to do today. Before we start, I would love to know where you are from. So maybe you can put that in the chat, in order for us to better understand. Going to look at it.
While you were talking about what we're not, enhance who we are and what we do best, think back to your school reports when you came home from school, and I'm sure you got praise for all the things you did well, but your parents focused on the C or the D or even the E and said, oh, I think we need to give you a bit more help there and bring that grade up. Does anyone resonate with that? Well, I certainly had that. No.
Yeah, I had that too.
It's a wasted opportunity and wasted energy. So identifying what you're really, really good at and enhancing that is much better use of time, money, and energy, to be really good at something than to be mediocre at something else with a lot of effort.
Yeah. So I understand that we have Germany in the place. So we have Frankfurt, Wiesbaden and I'm going to switch to German, and Heidelberg. Okay.
Very cool.
Yeah, very cool. Okay. The first question that I would like to ask you, the first part of this 1 hour together is confidence. And what I would love to ask you, you can think a little bit and put that in the chat, is to understand, why do you think is important to be confident at work and eventually at life? Because if you are confident at work, I think then we can transpose that to life generally. But why is it important? Why is it important to be that, to train that, to think about that?
And if while you're doing that, you might come up with a scenario, a situation where you had that realization that maybe you wish you were more confident than you are, or maybe you found out that you were too confident.
Yes, people can feel it when you are confident, so they are more trusted. So you are more trusted, so they trust you quicker. That would be one thing.
Christelle, is it possible to unmute people?
Sure, you can all unmute yourself if you want.
You're happy to speak, I'd love dialogue too, because if you can feel it when somebody is more confident, or you feel you are more confident, what do you look like? What do you see in other people that gives you that clue that they are more confident?
How they look or how they behave in general.
Either.
Yeah.
Hi, I hope you can hear me.
Yeah.
So for me, what you see in people when they are confident is they don't, is like some sort of visual clues as well. They are present in the room. They don't try to hide in a corner. Like the body language is quite assertive. So you want to listen to them. They're not hesitating. So you know you can trust in a way what they are saying. Because they are not hesitating when they're talking, or showing clues that maybe they don't know as much as as what they actually know. I think it's quite the contrary. Sometimes, even when you don't know exactly what you're talking about, there are ways of talking to make people think that they still can trust you, even if you don't have the answer right now.
Very cool. And what about posture? Does that play a part?
Yeah, for me, it does definitely play a part. It's just there is also not overdoing it, for sure, as you were also mentioning. So exactly, because then you're just like boasting. But yeah, overall, yeah, the way you are standing, sitting, I think it definitely plays a role.
That's my interpretation too. Tammy, welcome to the call. Do you have any observations or comments you might add? There's no pressure, you
Hi.
don't have to, but
Yeah, it's no problem.
feeling confident, which is great.
Yeah, I think when you have enough confidence, you are unstoppable. No one can stop you. Only you are in your way. And if you are confident, then there's nothing in your way.
Yeah.
Then you can go through everything many times. It does not mean you will not fall down, but you will stand up and continue. And that's why it's important. But for example, in this career world, or when you are trying to find some job, for example, and you receive so many rejections, then sometimes this confidence is going really down, because then you begin to think, oh, what is wrong with me? What I need to fix, or what I need to do different. And yeah, you begin to ask the wrong questions to yourself, and you lose a bit confidence.
Yeah.
And then when you have it, when you have it back, then it's a completely different approach.
Yeah. So generally then, question to all of you, do you have a trick that you can step into that ring of confidence, if you like? Do you have a method of reigniting the confidence in you if you've been bashed a little bit?
I think going to the past and grabbing some moments or some big goals that you already achieved, and said, I did it before, then I will be able to do it again.
I find that works for me. Yeah, very cool. Suleiman, I saw you think.
I think I try like this. I'm kind of overthinking, and this causes a problem to reduce my confidence in generally. But when I attend something or somewhere, or in a conference, or in the job interviews, so I'm trying to push myself to like reduce or eliminate this overthinking mind, and then become a person that doesn't have any problem with those things that I was always thinking of. So I don't know how I'm doing it, but I'm just like starting in a fresh mindset to whatever it takes now. I will do it my best, and then I will become more confident and more active and talkative with other people in the interview, or in this conference, or in this party even, we can call it, and I will become a other person in a way that I can be more confident on the things. Then I can be even more elaborative or more talkative, I can say. But the mindset that I have is overthinking cause reduction that I cannot get rid of for some reason.
Yeah, very good. Sylvie, do you have anything to add? You don't need to. If the brioche is calling, then that's fine.
No, it's okay. I think it's good to have a way to, let's say, gain back your own confidence, but on your own, because I think in my case, at least, I depend or quite a lot on what people think about me. So if I feel like I've failed somehow, then it's very difficult to come back, because then I wouldn't know what people think about me really. It's just an impression that I have. So I think it's quite important to get out of this. I think I saw it somewhere. It's like a first in school syndrome or something like that, where you always have to be the best, and but it's not really for you that you are doing it. It's for the other people. So yeah, from what I heard from Suleiman and from Taimi, it's really like they are able to do this on their own, so they don't depend on other people, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. Very quickly, before we move on to the next topic, then I could bundle all of that information into one very short technique that you could do, which is to do some slow breathing in through the nose. Always, you can go out through your mouth if you want to, and maybe don't count this, but at a rate that's comfortable for you, but often is suggested 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, and in your belly, down into your belly. Doesn't look sexy, but it really calms you down. So that's the first bit. You calm down. You do that for 3 or 4 breaths in and out. So that's 30 seconds. That takes you out of your head and out of all those other negative thoughts. Then you step into an emotion of, I've done this, to get yourself a memory that gives you that power, that strength, and step into that, reimagine that, see everything you saw, hear everything you heard, and most importantly, feel all the feelings that you felt as you continue to do this slow breathing. You do that for 2 minutes, your whole physiology will change. And if you do that before you go into an interview, you will be seen pretty confident when you go and answer all those questions. And remember, in the questions and answers, your subconscious mind knows far more than your conscious mind thinks it knows. So just relax into that and allow the right answers to come up.
Yeah,
and
you open the door. I agree with that. I would add as well something that I like to think is like confidence or self-confidence is linked, and we had this discussion with Martin earlier last week, I think. It's linked to our self-esteem, and self-esteem is our worthiness, is how much we believe that we are worth it. And it's like what I like, the image of a banknote. If the worth of this paper is 100 euro, if you sometimes you have like this banknote and it's fresh from the bank, is really nice and never have been how to say that, and never has been
well, it's still slightly damp, isn't it, because it just come off the printer.
Yeah, it's exactly. So it's like just perfect, and then it's 100 euro, right? But sometimes you have one and it has been through a lot of hands, and maybe it has been washed. So it's what happened in my place. Sometimes I wash money. So and then you have the things like it doesn't look anymore very nicely, and then it's still 100 euro. It still have the same value. It doesn't look the same anymore, but you still have the value. You can still use it for exactly the same things. And sometimes I like really to think about that in whatever happens. If you have successes, if you have failure, if you have lessons, you still have the same worth.
Yes.
And it's really nice to think about what is the worth that I want to give me. And I'm staying there, even if it's not working the way that I want to be. And I'm not going to be like one day a 100 banknote and a day after transforming in a 5 euro. It doesn't work like that with banknote, and doesn't work like that with ourselves either. So it's really like helping you to say, okay, that is what my worth. Whatever happened to me, I'm not going to go lower than that. And that is for your general mood about yourself and your self-esteem. And when you have this impression that you have this worth and you want to go one step further, then you have the confidence and you can make it. You have the confidence that if you do actions, it's going to happen the right way. If you don't have the right self-esteem, if you believe that you are only a 5 euro banknote, so you will think, well, that's not for me. And your programming sabotage yourself and say, it's not even worth it that I'm taking the action because it's not going to work for me. And it's where you sabotage yourself. It's where maybe you do the actions, but not completely. And it's where, as was written in the chat, so people see that you are doubting, and then they are like, I'm not sure it's the right person. So really looking at your worth, even if you are quiet at home or right now, like I am a 100, and I decided to to draw a 500 or 1,100 banknote doesn't exist somewhere else, but at my place it exists. It's here. So you can really put the values that you want to put inside of you.
And there's a reason it's called self-esteem, because we only esteem ourselves. It is up to us to find that within us. And as the L'Oreal hair shampoo advert says, it's because you're worth it. You know that.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. So having self-confidence definitely helps you to be at your working place more efficient, building maybe better relationship, more resilience. You have a personal empowerment. Your career advancement is higher. But really, on an individual level, it's more about being more authentic.
Mm-hmm.
It's about overcoming self-doubt. It's about breaking free, exactly what you said, Temi, breaking free from limiting beliefs, and everything is possible. So that's why it's so important to have this confidence, or at least not really to have it, to train it, because it's something that we can train. And so many people say that, it's not me, I'm not this kind of person. Yeah, well, you can train it, definitely.
So quick show of hands, have any of you ever done a big presentation from the stage in front of maybe 500 people, something like that?
What are the easy ways of confidence?
Sorry, say again?
Oh, sorry, I think my computer is a bit slow, so I didn't hear your question. I was answering to what Christelle was saying just before.
Okay. I mean, we missed it. Could you say it again?
So Christelle was mentioning that confidence can be trained, and I was wondering what were a few easy steps of training the confidence, or yep.
Well, I can start and answer with that. So definitely, it's really depending where is the problem. So if it's more self-esteem, like I don't trust myself, or I don't esteem myself because I don't believe that my value is high enough. So it's really like going back to why I am worthy, or why I think that I am worthy, and trying to have all the maybe coming from other people first, but really believing it, and every day changing your thoughts. Usually we are one thought away of being self-confident, and this one thought is something is wrong with me, and nothing is wrong with you. And just shifting this thought every time it comes helps to change the self-esteem and the confidence that you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. So something is wrong with me, I have to go. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with you at all. And
exactly.
And I might add that if ever you catch yourself saying something along the lines of "I can't do this," then add the word "yet" on the end.
Yeah.
I can't do it yet. Just think back early days when you were trying to learn how to ride a bicycle. You couldn't do it. Even trying to walk, you couldn't do it on the first go. Nothing really works on the first go. If you play a musical instrument, and think back to when you first picked it up compared to where you are now. So it's not, I can't do it. I can't do it yet. And just small incremental steps will serve you better than one big leap. So just keep going, but little steps so you can reach the next step. If you make it too big, you'll give up and nothing will work. So and it's the same with self-confidence. You put yourself into a slightly more awkward situation than you're used to. And then at the end of that, you realize, actually, I managed that. That's fine. You feel more confident about doing it next time. And I wonder if, sorry to go back to the brioche, if the first brioche that you ever made was a success compared to where you are now, maybe you're so much better at that brioche than you were when you first started making brioche. So it's incremental steps lead to improvement. Improvement leads to confidence.
Yeah, and now you can attend a webinar and do a brioche at the same time.
Yes.
I couldn't. Definitely. Okay, so that is for the confident part. Now I would like us to continue in the influence. Why is it important to learn that? Why is it important to learn to have this influence zone around us?
We like to transfer our knowledge to the other people. Like I'm a PhD student, I'm doing an experiment, I'm working on some biological field, let's say, and I found something that I need to go to conferences to let other people that what I find is true. So I need to influence them. I need to, because in the scientific field, it's really difficult to affect others to knowledge, because some other people also work in the same field might be finding some other things, might not be believing you, because it's really controversial some of the time sometimes. And to be influential on that sense would be really amazing, I would say, to let other people or audience to listen what you are saying and believing what you are doing, and with the, of course, the proper experimental settings. Yeah, that would be super useful to have the influential for other people to believe you.
Thank you very much, Suleiman.
Yeah.
Temi?
Yeah, I think these are like a small sets that you can put somewhere, and the other way around, that you get and that you also can give. And maybe will not have some effect in this moment, but in some moment, if you continue putting some water there, it will grow. And yeah, this is the idea. The secret of life is giving also.
Nice.
Yeah, like that. Secret of life is giving. One sentence I'm going to take for me today.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to add something, Sylvie? Or not yet?
No, I think it's yeah, for me it's the same. Like on one hand, you needed to convince people when you want to achieve something in particular, but on the other hand, as Temi said, it's like you make an impact on the world. So the more influence you have, then the bigger your impact can be.
Yeah. And if you had more influence right now, what would you do? What would be, I don't know, your day or the coming week? What would you do with that? What kind of message or what kind of influence would you like to have? I'm asking this question, you can continue to think about it because of two reasons. Sometimes we
To make a more
yeah, Sylvie?
Sorry. So I feel like I would like to make a positive impact on people's life, like make it better. So it may sound very stupid, but like peace in the world, kind of thing. Like it's yeah, how you can have a bigger influence than just staying at home or staying in the office and just doing your own little thing in a corner, when possibly you could have a greater impact for the good of everyone.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, it's not stupid at all.
Especially the peace bit.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, sometimes we don't have the influence that we want to have for two reasons. The first reason is we are not sure about the influence we want to give, in which direction, what is our message. That's one thing. And the other one is we don't know how to have this influence, because we are all different. And it's what we see in our program, in the Clifton Strengths exhibition, that we see that how different we are. And I am more an introvert person. And sometimes when I am in a room full of person, I think, well, I am not influenced. I don't have this kind of influence. But you, again, so you don't have to be a mammoth if you are a mouse, or you don't have to be an elephant if you are, if you want to, if you are a dog or something like that. So you can really adapt yourself or understand the kind of influence that you have in order to play it better, again, more authentic, and then to go for it. So usually we don't have the influence that we don't have the influence that we want to have, because we don't know in which direction we want to go, and we don't know how. With my own inner values and alignment and so on, how can I do that? How can I have that? Do you want to add something, Martin? Do you have something
Well,
there?
Yeah, I was going to add that it's one of the key talents or skills that people working in industry and with anyone else really needs to have these days, because those days of a leader or a manager thinking they can just do this because I tell you how to do it and this is the way, they've gone. You know, any leader that's still using that as a methodology to get stuff done is missing the trick. And influencing someone is a way of encouraging someone to see your point of view, but actually helping them to understand it through their point of view. So through that, you do need that interpersonal talent, if you like, that skill to be able to connect with others in a way that's meaningful. And then you get that emotional connection, which then makes it easier for you to influence others. I replay a story. I did some leadership training, and the type of leaders were what they called matrix leaders. So they had all of the responsibility, but no authority. They had to bring in a project on time and on budget and that sort of thing, but they had zero authority over everybody that was in the team. So they had to influence others in that team to do the work that was required, knowing that each and every one of them team members were also in other teams doing things. They had someone from finance who was in several different teams, and someone from procurement in different teams, and so on. And this particular guy had a project which he thought had come in on time and on budget and launched the results. The very next day it failed, and it cost the company many hundreds of thousands. And when they unpacked it and tried to figure out what was going on, he said it came down to two people who were older than him and more senior in the company, and quite frankly should have known better. But they did their specific piece of work as requested in isolation and didn't test it in a complete system. So you had these two pockets, which on the face of it worked perfectly. But when you put it together with everything else, it failed, and they never tested it. And the leader said, I really don't understand what went wrong, because, and his words were, everybody else in that team did exactly what I told them to do. And these two guys weren't going to be told what to do. He needed to influence them, and his lack of influencing skill led to that project failing. So influencing skills and talents are really, really important. And there's one that comes through for me from the Clifton Strength Finder is activator. And you'll know if you've got someone who's an activator, because they're kind of a catalyst for a sense of urgency. They'll suddenly generate some energy in the room and you go, oh, we've got to get this done. And they'll give you all sorts of reasons why, and then that are meaningful to you as well. And then you say, okay, I get it. I can do that. So influencing, very, very important talent.
So do you have a question about influencing? No question? Okay.
Are you a good influencer, do you think? Can you influence? I mean, I'm an owner of a cat. No, I'm not. I'm a servant to a cat. And trying to influence.
I have a no in the chat.
Yeah, that's. Do you know, Sylvie, you're not a good influencer.
I'm sorry. I think this is again my computer being very slow. I was answering to the previous question.
Okay.
So I don't know exactly whether I'm a good influencer or not. So sometimes I have the impression that I can convince people quite well, but I think it depends. Like other times I feel like I'm talking
Yeah.
and nothing happens.
The trick would be to revisit those times when you've done well and think, how did I do that? And just reapply those skills the way you did it.
To observe and reuse it, yeah, or adapt it.
Tammy, I think you were on the edge of saying something. Were you?
Yeah, before what I want to say is that sometimes it's from the influence. You have some idea of what you want to say or the way you want to say, but of course not everyone get it in the same way. But
Yeah.
there's also some opportunity, some kind of mirror also for you to find out what you can do better, what you can change, or which kind of message this gives to me. There are some opportunities to get something valuable from this
Yeah, very true.
situation.
And there are all sorts of reasons why it wouldn't land, from other people's biases, values, belief systems, the whole gambit of who makes them special. And in order to influence, you've got to find out how they tick and then play that back to them. So you're speaking their language, if you like.
But that is really interesting. I know that in my case, it was a little bit maybe like Sylvie said before. So sometimes I know that I can be very persuading, inspiring, influencing, whatever you call that, but I can get people to do what I want them to do. I have been a sales rep during so many years, and the team was in France and I was somewhere else, and it's exactly what you said, Martin. So I had to get them doing things for me, but I wasn't the boss, so I needed to have enough influence to get my task on top of their own task list, and I achieved that very well. It was good. My quote was good, and so I understand that I had this power sometimes, and sometimes like I'm speaking, but I'm not seen. I'm completely transparent. People don't see me, and I felt really annoyed with that, and like, what's wrong with me? And with the Clifton Strength, I really understood why is it so. I understood when I have like the influence and when I don't have it, and why I don't have it. And that was really like, for me, that was a mind-blowing moment, because it's exactly what you said last week, Martin. It's like, oh, I understand now. Why is it so? And then you can decide to change it or not. In my case, well, yeah, now I understand why at this kind of moment, I don't have the influence that I I wanted to have. But now with my values and my strength and so on, I understand why it worked this way. I'm fine with it. And I found some other ways to influence the way that I am good at, and I feel confident and I feel aligned with me, like with my authenticity again. I'm not going to play another role in order to get there. And that was for me really aha moment, like we say in German.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Okay. And then we come to the last part. The last part is present. And maybe you were wondering why we put like confidence, influence, and like presence, because it might be feel a little bit off the row. But we find that really interesting to address that as well. Why do you think that is important to train that, or to be present? Why do you feel it might help in your personal growth, in your career growth, development?
Yeah, this shows first interest that you are there for the others, that you are hearing also, that you can even hear what they are not saying. For this, you need some presence. If it's not, you miss it. And that's why it's important to get rid of everything around and try to be in this moment, completely focused on what you are doing. And the others will notice in the way you react or you interact to some specific points of the conversation, or when you do maybe some breaks in purpose. For this, you also need to have some presence.
Very good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So how is it for you? Do you think that you are present enough? Do you think that is one of your strengths? Or do you think that maybe you never thought about it? How is it for you?
I think many times we try to do this multitasking. And of course, this is the opposite of present. And yeah, this is the problem where we sometimes are even there, but thinking in what I have missing to do, or what is my plan for the day, or there are many things going around that does not let you be really there. And yeah, this, I think many people, including myself, need to work in this multitasking, try to really stop it if it's possible.
There's a lot of truth in that. And it's a skill that needs, again, it's one of those incremental skills, but it's almost a muscle that needs exercising, focus. And being present, and particularly if you're having a one-on-one conversation with someone, being fully present for that other person is a massive gift, and makes a huge difference to the response you get and the depth of the conversation you can go, because they know you're there, and not just speaking into the wilderness. If you want to build up this talent of focus, you can do it, and you can do it physically. You might, for example, just rub the tip of your finger with your thumb and focus on what it feels like between the thumb and the finger, and feel all the ridges of the fingerprints that are there, and just do that for, I don't know, 30 seconds or so. And if you've done that for a bit, and you can do it without other thoughts coming into your head, it's really hard, is keep going, and then put the two hands together and just feel the ridges down the fingers, and then feel onto the palm, keeping that focus purely on that touch sensation. You can do that for a couple of minutes. That's great, but building it up, and it takes more time to build it up. Again, slowly, incremental steps help you all the way. Has anyone else got a technique for building focus that you've seen work? And I've got a subsequent, well, it's another question that's alongside it if you're speaking. In the time that we spent together, have you felt or noticed that your mind wandered at any time?
Like in the
I had,
past or in the future?
It's kind of normal.
Yeah,
yeah,
Sullivan?
I think I had, like, I'm trying to focus a lot, but I had, like, to be honest, to say multiple times that my mind is going multiple projects, multiple things that I was working on, and because I had another meeting one before, and I'm really, like, trying my best to, like, to be in the present and to understand what you are saying, because I overdo them. I think one thing should be, for example, my phone now is in the flight mode. I just made it like a 10 minutes or 20 minutes ago, because I'm getting a lot of messages and I'm distracted by that, and I cannot focus, and I just want to listen and hear. Sometimes in the video is okay. You can make it back, skip, and then you can see what was the step, but it's leave, and then you don't want to miss certain things, to especially the practice thing. And I'm just trying to focus, but because of this social media, and you have short span of focus a lot because of this reels or videos, very short, and you just want to skip all the time to next one. And I know with some of the friends, we are trying to, while we are talking, try to make it, how do we make it longer conversation? and we are working on it to avoid this short span of focus that we are having nowadays. We are exposed to those videos or things all the time that reduce our focus and interest for most topics, and it's still difficult thing to do, but we are trying. Yeah, can tell. Yeah.
Thank you, Suleiman. That's thank you for your honesty as well, and I appreciate the work you're doing on yourself. That is vitally important, really, for mental well-being as well, to really allow the mind to just stop and calm down and recharge. So you've got the stamina and resilience to continue with the rest of the day. Yeah.
Yes, and on top of that, so exactly, so it's really helped to decrease the anxiety or the stress, or and as well to connect better with the person in front of us or with the task that we do. In order to be more efficient. So that helps us to go in the flow, for instance, and when we are in the flow, so we are quicker, so we are more productive, even 5 times more productive, as some study says. But on top of that is what you said before, Martin, is that helps as well when we are more into our body and then less in our head. So that brings a little bit of space in our head, and that helps our subconscious to push the solution that our subconscious has, to put that in the conscious mind and say, oh, I got the idea. So if we think too much, if we are in the past, in the future, or somewhere else, but not here and now, so we don't have space in our mind. It's like too much things. But if we can achieve that, so we empty it a bit, it's great for our mental health and for our health anyway. But as well, on top of that, it helps us to get the right creativity, the right idea, the right input of our brain. That I wanted to add no on top.
It's like having that in the shower moment when you're you suddenly go, oh my goodness, that's the answer. But you can do it at work with your clothes on and with your colleagues as well, so it's quite safe.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't have to have a joint shower.
Okay, so we have seen our 3 elements. We have seen the confidence part, we have seen the influence part, and we have seen the present part. One question that I would ask again is like, what would you do if you would have at least one of these elements even more? Like the self-confidence, how would be your life different if you had a bit more of that? Or only the influence, a bit more of that. I don't want you to think, okay, if I had like 100% of that, difficult, but just a bit more. What would you do differently? How would be your life different? If you have like spontaneous answer, I would love to hear that. If not, it's okay. I just put the question in your mind. Is going to work from alone during the coming week hours.
I can maybe comments
Yes,
on it. Like,
sure.
I would like to increase either self-influence, but self-confidence or influence. Just
Okay.
I mixed the word. But I prefer the self-confidence more. If I have a little bit more self-confidence and less overthinking about my bad habits or bad things that I have, I would definitely go for my own company or startup. And I really like making own product and look for this funding agency, so that I can convince them, I can believe in the product, I can believe in this what I'm doing, and then I can look for money to make it make it happen. So I will more on working on it to make it. I'm sure maybe in Germany, maybe in US, UK, like I can travel all over the world and try to make this happen. So I will, if I believe in myself and my product or my ideas more, so that I can maybe build on that and then make it as much as I can with the presence I can tell that I have, that trying to my best on it.
Well,
Yeah,
you got some energy on that. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing, Suleiman. Okay. Temi, Sylvie, do you have something that just popped up? And usually we have something popping up, and then then we filter it. We're like, no, 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 I don't want to have this idea. It's too dangerous.
So I don't have a very clear idea coming to mind. And it was dampened a little bit when you said, what would you do if you had just a little bit more? I feel like if you had a lot more self-confidence or influence, then yeah, it's like you can achieve anything in life, really. So you can do whatever you want. You can be successful. But ultimately, I think it's also an image that we are growing up with, like only very highly confident people and can be successful. But maybe you can just be successful in your own way, and you don't have to achieve like giant, enormous things or be a millionaire to be successful. So, so for me, I think I will just stay in my own little corner and do more painting and try to sell it. Like I have a little company, but yeah, not necessarily something massive.
Yeah, thank you.
You make a great point there. Success for you is different for success for somebody else. So it's an inside job as well. So you know, knowing what success looks like for you is important, and do the things that you know you can do in order to be successful as you describe it. Any other thing is doing so, yeah, do it for you. If you're doing anything for anybody else, you'll probably be less successful. It's still possible to be successful, but the joy comes from doing what you do for you to be successful in the way you describe it.
Yeah, and it as well, I agree with that. And it's not for the results, but it's more for the doing part. If you love what you do,
yeah,
so then you are already successful. If you just only like the results, but you don't really love what you do in the meantime, I'm really not sure that is a successful story.
That's more stressful.
Yeah, I think it's stressful for sure. Yeah. Okay. Temi, do you want to add something?
Yeah, about this last topic now about doing, I think, yeah, you need to learn how to enjoy the journey, the way, because the goal always change. What you want now or what is the big goal now will not be the same next year or whatever. Then that's why it's more important to learn how to enjoy the journey, and not only the results of the goal you want to have or you want to achieve right now. In this sense. And yeah, I also think from these three, the confidence is a key. It's the key that open doors for many other, that open many other doors, because then, when you believe in yourself and you are sure you can do it, and the others also will notice around you. They will notice the difference, what you mentioned, that your physiology change completely when you have more confidence, and then the influence will come by itself, and then you will not be scared to do maybe some small action, because you also should not underestimate the value of this, what you call, what it is, small action. Then the influence in the end will come by itself. And one of the questions you did in some moment, like what do you want to do or what do you want to influence, maybe it's that we all learn a bit more that there are like two big things, that like what you can control and what you cannot. Most of the time we are outside this cycle. We are not in what we can control. We want to be outside, and there are many things keep us busy and worry. And I would like to do this, like try to bring the people inside the cycle, exactly. That
cool.
they can have what is their definition for success, what are their terms, because what you say is for everyone will be different, but we should evolve anyway. We should not keep ourselves some kind of status or whatever. We We need to raise our standards, and this is the way to find our own terms. We don't need to be millionaires to be happy.
Correct.
Love it. Thank you
Christelle,
very
you've got
much.
2 minutes.
We've got 2
Wanna wrap
minutes.
up?
Okay. Yeah. Well, yes. Okay, wrap up. What I would like to suggest, if it's okay for you to spend these 2 minutes like that, I would like to just share a bit. So the program that we are going to give to address in June, Martin and I, it's a 6 weeks program. Is that okay if I share a little bit about that? Yeah. Okay.
It's awesome. It's worth sharing.
I'm going to I have like, it's very short. I don't want to here. Can you see what I have
Yep.
here? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so if 6 weeks, it's 6 weeks where we are going to have a small group. Because we want to have this program really designed to help you to have more confidence, more influence, to be more present, and much more, if it's much more what you want. So we both, Martin has maximizing as a strength, so we both like to add the much value as possible and exactly the kind of value you like to have. We use Clifton Strength assessment in order to understand your strength and then to work with your strength. But we use as well other tools that we have, that I have on my side and Martin has in his side. So first of all, we discover your strengths. If you don't know yet, we discover them with assessment. Then we understand them, because sometimes we know them, but we don't really understand them. And that's happening so often that people say,
Too
yeah,
often.
I know my 5 top strengths, but they don't really understand what is the meaning of that. So, Martin, do you want to add something there? Because you are
Well, I know when I took my Strength Finder long time ago, I looked at the top 5 and it didn't relate to what my job title was. And I thought, I don't understand what's going on here. And no one was there to talk me through it. No one helped me through it. And yet when I was on a crossroads and needed to have a look and think, what am I going to do next? I went back to the Strength Finder and looked at it and reread and read in a lot deeper. And then it informed me about my next steps and what would be a great path for me to take after that, which was coaching. So yeah, it is one of those things that too many people and too many offices take the assessment, they look at it, go, oh, that's interesting, put it on the shelf and go back to how they used to be.
I agree.
Such a waste of time.
Yeah.
Such a waste.
I agree, fully agree with that. I had kind of the same. For me, it was different. I did my transition and then I went to know my strength, and then I understood, oh, that's why it's something that I so love to do. And then that gave me for sure more confidence and more influence. The presence part, I had it already, but the confidence and the influence, definitely, that's really helped me to be more stable and to better understand what is my power. So indeed, so when we know that, so it's how we can train that, because it's really like when you have like you are a superhero, I don't know what kind of Marvel superhero, you have your power, but now you know that you have one, but you still don't know really how to use it the best way.
Yeah.
And that is something that we train. First of all, we tell you, okay, you have a superpower, we find it, and then we train it. So it's like if Superman didn't know that he can fly, it's a pity. It doesn't really do his job, right? So we help you to find that out, to train it, to use it the best way. And what I found really interesting last time as well is that some clients says that some of their weaknesses, they shifted into a strength now. because they say, oh, I thought I had a problem around that, but now I understand. And then now I can use it differently. And now I can use it as a strength, which is just great when you can hear these kind of things. So that's the part 3.
There's also, it's funny how it sometimes comes up that people have a behavior that they think is a bit odd, and they think they're the only person that does this.
Exactly.
And then they realize it's actually got a name and people studied it, and there are 12 other people like them in the room. So it's kind of like, oh, so I'm not weird.
Yes,
No,
you're
not at all.
right. You're right. What we have seen as well, and we really have seen that again last program, but that is showed as well, is that when you use your talent, your strengths properly, you feel happier, you feel more satisfied, you have more satisfaction and more joy, more ease. And that's just a great side effect, or maybe main effect, depending on how you see that. But that's something that we will work on as well.
Yep.
We will work on as well recognizing your talent, how it has an impact on your stress level. Because again, as what I told before, that helps you to be more confident, to be more present, to know that you have the resources and to know how to use them. And the stress level is completely different. And then last time we used some other tools as well, because the group asked for it. And leverage it, right? So we want you to have even more success, so to leverage and to go to the next level. So that's the 6th step that we are doing. It starts in June. It's for 6 weeks. We will meet every week on a Zoom call. We have a linking group support in order for us to stay connecting during the 6 weeks, not only during the coaching session, but really a part of that. We have an e-learning platform where you have a lot of information in it. For sure, the Clifton Strength Assessment. Martin and I, we are going to be present for you, so 2 seasoned coaches. And yes, the power of the group, that's always nice. A small group. Again, we are not going to have more than 10 people. And I know that 3 are already interested. So we still have like 7 spots. And the standard price is 1,997 euros. But if you are interested, then right now the price is 997 euro.
And she had to twist my arm very hard.
Yes.
For me to agree to that.
Indeed. So so this price is for the end until the end of the week. So you have a bit of time to think about it. If you really want to be part of it, you have some questions, some struggle, come back to me, come back to Martin, have a call, we discuss. Do. And if you are sure you want to be part of it, just let us know, and then I will do the registration. I will do that, but you can come back to Martin or to me. So here is the email address. Yeah. So that's it. Do you have questions? It was quick. I know it was quick. It's like a lot of information in a few minutes.
Will people be sent that information, Christelle?
Yes, yeah. I will send the information. Yeah, definitely.
Good. Very good.
Okay. So if you have no questions, I just would like to have like your one takeaway, and then we can finish up with that. And that would be the wrap up. So 1 sentence, what is the biggest thing that you take away from this 1 hour together? Suleiman?
I think for me, I can't do it yet, the phrase, I think could be the one takeaway I can tell, because I'm saying a lot to I can't do it, but yet is the, it's an aha moment that might be useful for the future, that I can use it. Right now I cannot do it, but maybe in the future with the steps, that it's encouraging, for you to
sure. Encourage
give up
yourself.
Completely, just to just another thing.
It shifts from a problem-oriented mind to a solution-oriented mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, Suleiman.
Thank you. Love it.
For
Yes,
me, well, I was not planning to join today because when I read the description, I thought, okay, I'm not working right now, so this is not going to be for me. So first of all, thank you, because actually it was interesting for me anyway. And I think the key sentence for me is enjoy the process and enjoy the journey and love what you do. So yeah, so and do it little by little.
Mm. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think for me it was, yeah, what you say in some moment, that don't undervalue what you are, and this metaphor with the 100 bill that is new, or even if it's not new, it's still 100 value. I think this is something to remember.
Yeah, very good.
Thank you. So thank you for being present. Do you want to add your last word, Martin? Do you have like one sentence to wrap up?
Well, yeah, well, 2 words really. Thank you. Thank you for showing up in the middle of the day, and we appreciate have other things on your calendar and other things that are as important. So it's not a given that people show up. So really do appreciate it, and I'm glad you all got something to take away and implement. So good news.
Yeah. Yeah, I join Martin with that. Thank you very much for being present. Thank you for the people that are going to look at the recording. I know as well that it's not always easy to look at the recording, and we can stay in touch wherever we are in touch. So on LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram or wherever. I wish all of you a very nice day and see you soon.
Thanks,
Thank
Christelle.
you.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Thanks, Suleiman. Thanks, Sylvie. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Jamie.